Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Are y'all ready to relax now and discuss this not so hastily? Y'all are going to help me fill in the timeline. We're going to go back through the freaking text messages and probably back through the 911 call slower now that we've all had a little bit of breathing time. And I'm going to pull up my little timeline and we're going to input the text message times together. That's what we're going to do today. Hey, Tara, first on deck. Mr. Naysayer, how you doing? This is the wildest shit show ever. It's the understatement of the freaking century. Hey there, Bella. I don't think the transcript's out of order. The text messages are definitely missing a lot of information, but it seems like either there's pieces just missing from the 911 call transcript, which I don't know if that's the case, or it was just a really short call. It could have just been a really hella short call. But it's also hard to really get the vibe of everything because there's parts where the operator is cutting off whoever's talking and they're going back and forth. That's always really hard to capture in a transcript. Hey, I've got something to say. Yeah, I mean, honestly, nothing that was released today proves anything when it comes to Bryan. Nothing at all in the 911 calls or what's been released in the text messages prove anything when it comes to who they're trying to put anywhere. There's literally nothing about anything that points to him like that. I mean, yeah, probably. Me too. I am shooketh. I've been thinking about it nonstop. I was thinking about it on the way to the freaking store to get my stuff. I was thinking about it while I was cooking. I was thinking about it while I was eating. I was thinking about it while I was coming in here to start thinking about it some more. I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. So we're gonna pull up the PCA so that we can kind of get a refresher of the way that the room where Xana and Ethan are in is described as they're walking towards it. And we're going to just try to make it make sense. Try to make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I guess the question is, did she ever make it to Bethany's bedroom? Because that's definitely not frozen. Yeah, she was never freaking in any sort of frozen shock at all. Yeah, I'm aggravated. I don't understand. And if they were having a full-on conversation via text and she did also get down to Bethany's room, they were still talking about what they believe was going on upstairs. Yeah. And somebody mentioned that it's probably Dylan's phone went dead when she went down to Bethany's, but not if Bethany has an iPhone the way that Dylan does. They could just charge her phone in Bethany's room. Yeah, well, we were kind of always told. We were told, what was it, from the beginning that the two girls were originally just down in the basement. So it wasn't really until the PCA that we knew that Dylan actually originally went to sleep in her room and then ended up in Bethany's room. And that was also something that Steve Goncalves constantly said, that the girls were downstairs. Because there was even, there was one interview that Steve and Olivia and Steve Jr. did. And in the interview, they're talking to, it's the first it shit's fresh, okay? 48, 72 hours fresh. And they're doing an interview, and it's one of the few that Steve Jr. is in. And they're talking about where Dylan and Bethany were found, and the guy's getting it wrong, talking about how they were on the second floor. And Steve Jr. is no, and he's pointing down. And then a few minutes later, he corrects him verbally, and he's just so you know, to clear it up, both of the girls were on the bottom floor. And then we found out later that that's not true, but that's what they were told. That's what they were originally told, because that's where the girls woke up, which has nothing to do with what happened at the time. So there's that. It is very freaking unreal. Yeah, some people are commenting that makes more sense, that where it says screwed, it actually means scared, especially since Bethany afterwards says something well, it's better than being alone. It would make more sense for her to say that she was scared. And they still didn't even bother to contact anybody. I know. The whole scenario doesn't make sense. Me too. It's bonkers as shit. Hey, Lisa. Very insane. I'm so mad. Hey, Jitsu. And hey, Jinjin. I'm used to calling you Toad, though. I just noticed that it changed. Hi, Christy. Hey, Mad Season 50. Big Plants, Little City. Hey, Carly. I mean, like, is there a possibility that she was the one, like, rapidly, frantically calling Jack D from both of the girls' phones? I mean, damn. I don't even know. Hey, Julia. How you doing? Hey, Shell. Hey, Miller Time. Whew. Yeah. 10 months. Oh, yeah. I mean, look. I've never taken Xanax, but if any time would be a good time. Like, this is wild. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Team Marie. Beauty for Ashes. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, that's another thing. The whole thing is just crazy. Is that how it went? I don't know if that's how it went. I'll have to go back in and see. 20 memberships. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so muchos. It's very sweet. Me too. Look, I had said at the end of the live earlier that we were going to just like jump back into our document review, and there was one I pulled up that showed a bunch of titles of stuff that I wanted to go over. We're going to wait. We're going to do that tomorrow. I feel like we needed to just like sit back, relax, have a slow chat where we're not rushing and trying to like soak in the information like freaking SpongeBob, and just like, let's just have a chat. We're going to pull my timeline up, and we're going to put the text message times and the new information into the timeline together so that we can go back over it. It's just a lot. Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what Disgrace is saying about all of this, because you know she's going to say something. To see how honest she is about all of this, because there's still so many people out there that are still like pounding down on this DNA thing without reading like the rest of the document, or caring that the state is literally claiming it's exculpatory and forgetting the fact that more testing was done to prove that it wasn't Bryan's. But the biggest argument in all of that is, okay, so if the defense was able to take the fingernail clippings and test them further, what about the other unknown male DNA stuff? Like, is it just freaking sitting there whenever we've got all these resources and, you know, test the shit, like, figure out what these answers are. And my biggest thing with that is that with the stuff underneath Maddie's fingernails, there was no concrete anything. It could be Maddie and Kaylee and another person, or it could be Maddie and two other people. Like, how do you not freaking know? How did you not bother to know? Hey, LR. It's been such an exhausting day. Yes, we're going to try to just like slow down, chill out. Hello, Crystal. All to Jim. Hello. Just more confusion. Yep. Exactly. That's why I want to pull up the PCA, because I've always envisioned, and it made what we heard from Christy, from what she told Daniel, it made it connect. I always envisioned when reading it that they were walking towards the door, and because of what we had heard about the door not being able to like come open, it was open enough, but probably opened more by the first responders so that they could get an assessment about what's happening. So the door being open more, or I doubt they would have moved Ethan if he was actually behind the door, because they have to preserve the crime scene as much as possible. So then again, I don't know. That makes that whole part confusing. That makes that whole freaking part confusing. But I've always envisioned them walking towards it and the door open, and they can see Xana across the room through the open door. But Ethan would have been like behind it. But no one's even mentioning Ethan in this 911 call. No one is mentioning blood in this 911 call. That's the wildest part. Nobody freaking says anything about blood. But you notice as soon as like one of the police gets on scene, you instantly see it says, I think we have a homicide. Like the second he walked in the door. So we've got at a minimum 6 people standing right there all over the place on this 911 call, and no freaking body's mentioning the fact there's blood everywhere. Nobody's mentioning Ethan also being in the room. Nobody's mentioning the other people. No, the house should have never gone anywhere. Yeah, we're gonna talk. Yeah, because that's where they came from originally. And I guess they just figured that to keep the story until it was needed to change it, because I guess it irrelevant. I think it meant scared, Lisa. Like, we went back, I was reading through some of the comments, and if you go back to, like, and we're going to pull it back up, but if you go in through, like, the context, it's like she's saying that she's scared, but then Bethany's like, but it's better than being alone, like about running through the house and getting to Bethany's room at that time, because she's claiming, I guess, in this conversation, because there's a bunch missing. Like, I don't know why they even bothered. Like, I'm glad they did, because we needed to see something. I'm glad they gave us something, but they've obviously deleted a bunch. Obviously, they've taken out a bunch. If they call 911 for an unconscious person, which is Xana, how do they not see? Yeah, I know. How do they not see the blood or Ethan? Or do they actually not go inside and saw from say the hallway? No, there's no way. Because I mean, I can't even say that any freaking more. Okay, all I know is that Goncalves made it seem, Christy made it seem, as if they went in the house and had to like manhandle Xana's freaking door to get it open, because Ethan's body was blocking it from getting open, which to me, saying that would almost mean like it was unlocked, but they couldn't push it open. And that's if what Christy is telling people is accurate. But this story right here is making it sound as if they were able to see Xana. Like, they physically had eyes on Xana. And instead of saying, oh, there's blood every freaking where, they're like, oh, she drank too much last night, she's not waking up. What? Oh, I freaking hope so. I hope that Judge Hippler does smell what's happening, and that's why all this stuff is being released. I really hope so, because at this point, he's like, redactions for super sensitive information, all these whole ass ceilings are not happening anymore. And this kind of like pisses me off too, honestly, because like I said, there's nothing in these calls, nothing in the calls, nothing in the freaking text messages that alludes to Bryan. Literally nothing. It alludes to all of the rumors that we already thought about, the shadiness and the cover up and the cleanup and the bullshit. That's all that this did. Yeah, I really thought that she said, I think she meant to say scared, but her phone was dying and she was apparently, not all there. And see, that also the whole her going downstairs thing, now that we know that there was blood on the stair rail between the first and second floor, it really does want to allude to Dylan having some sort of blood on her from being around the people that were injured, or touching something that had it on it, and like touching the handrail on her way down the thing. Like, that's just something that comes into my mind. Hey. Hi, Bree. No Apple warrant for Bethany, only ever Verizon in mobile, so that's Android. Oh, maybe so. I didn't even think to go look at those. You're probably right, though. So yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know if her phone died though, because at 11:40 she's texting her dad. 11:40 she's texting her daddy. So I don't know. Maybe she grabbed her charger before she ran off. Yeah, we're gonna look back at it and see the order that she says something about her being 20 in. Maybe as if she's asked if she spoke to the intruder. I don't know. Because she definitely wasn't frozen. I mean, she was definitely not. She was definitely talking. Hey there, Miranda. Oh, yeah, I'm mad too. I mean, yeah, sorta. But even in all of the stuff now, there's no proof of life for anybody. There's really just not. Her messaging Eric Grower is interesting, though. So I don't know. We're gonna look. We're gonna look again. It's very annoying. Very annoying. Oh, I missed a lot. I'm like way behind. Holy crap, a freaking moly. Oh, welcome, Jessica. Thank you for the $4.99, Mountain Man. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping so, but then again, I don't really trust him all that much. I guess maybe I trust him a little bit more now that he's letting this stuff out. Yeah, this was a truth dump. This was a truth dump. Definitely has my brain rattled. But he like has already like said certain things in court and then came out and like ordered against what he said in court, and I'm just like, I wish you would keep, your mind, make your mind up and not go back and forth so much. Well, yeah, but at this point, I need to know what TikTok activity they're claiming is TikTok activity. If that makes any sense. Because anybody can make your TikTok turn on. No, I'm not watching Karen Reed. I can't handle more than one circus at a time, honestly. And I'm already trying to like keep up with a couple of not so circusy, but still really important cases. And it's difficult because there's always so much crazy stuff happening in Idaho. Thank you for the $5 super sticker, Jessica. That's very nice. It's very sweet. Oh, wow, Jeff, you finally said something I like. This is actually like a really good. Wow, Jeff. Jeff just said, does it say that they are in Xana's room and she's unconscious, or did they use the ladder to look into her room and can't get her to wake? That would honestly make some sense if one of the guys grabbed the ladder and went up the freaking ladder to see if they could see inside the freaking room to see what was going on. I can get down with that possibility. I could get down with that possibility because the blinds were open, weren't they? Like you could see inside. I could see that maybe being possible. I like that out of everything else that I've heard about that ladder. I'll say that. Oh, be nice. Be nice. It's just wild. It is just wild. Okay. Wow, I've really missed a bunch. I'm like way the frick down here. Well, thank you, Dropkick. Thank you for the $5. Just want to say hello, and I'm so freaking excited to finally catch you live. Love you, girl. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. We're going to take these a little bit slower than we did earlier. Because damn if we wasn't trying to get through all of it. And we're going to also work on my little timeline to put the text message times in here. I think the most interesting thing out of all of this is her contact with her father before the 911 call. I think that's the thing that is most interesting to me. That alludes to a lot, regardless of what anybody wants to admit to when it comes to her dialogue about the situation. Her getting a hold of her father, what was it, 19 minutes before the 911 call, is wild. Oh boy, I don't want to start that rumor. He's a married man. As far as I can remember, Grower is a married man. See, and that's my problem. Like how, even if not even getting up close though, like just like opening the door and looking inside, like how could you possibly look and think, oh, she just drank too much and isn't waking up whenever we have literal red stuff seeping out of the house? Okay. There's no freaking way. I mean, maybe. Because it doesn't tell us anything in between that. And that is hours. Hours. And for her to have been tired all that whole day and still complaining about being so freaking tired and out of it on the next few days after that, whenever they interviewed her again, I'm like, damn, were you like up the whole time for real? Why are you so exhausted? It's just wild to me. This whole thing is just absolutely freaking wild to me. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up the text messages because we're going to put this now in my little bitty timeline. And once the timeline Excel sheet is done, I will probably put it in the members only folder. So you guys remember to check for the link if you haven't, if you're a member already, to go to the members only community post section, wherever that is for you guys. There's going to be a post in there that has a link to the shared drive folder for Idaho versus Kohberger. There's not a lot in there. There's some things. I just started it, but I'm going to add more to it, and this timeline will be part of it. Yeah, she was texting the roommates and trying to get them to answer the phone while the incident was happening, and then at 10 o'clock in the morning too. So that whole like 10 o'clock in the morning too thing is really, man, I'm about to summon her. Oh, Kim. This brings back Kim, okay? This brings back Kim, the basic Kim, not the crazy Kim who let all of the crazy people that have channels talk a bunch of crazy shit and put it in her head and twist her story up, but the original Kim. It brings me back to Kim. So we're going to consider that 10 o'clock time because that's a bit interesting. There could actually be some messages out there hidden somewhere. It's all very wild. It's all very wild. Let's go through the text messages. Again, when it comes to the times that they're giving us. Because I want to put them in this little thing. I don't know if I can make this big enough for me to be able to like do both of these things. I have no idea. Let's see. Can I split screen this or is it going to look like absolute shit? I have no idea. Oh, is it not going to let me do it? It doesn't let me share split screen. Well, that's poop. And dumb. And they should fix that. Because it's technically the same screen. So I don't know why it's not letting me. So I'll just have to go back and forth. It's not a big deal. Okay. Let me get this part back open. Okay. So this first one, I'll make Dylan green. For this first one, we have 2:10 in the morning. Dylan sends a text message to Eric Grower. But this is interesting that they're calling him an Uber driver in here. Are we still using the word Uber for him? Because normally Uber drivers can't take like personal requests. And I thought that this was like a drive service, according to the way that Steve always talked about it, that it was more like a driving service for the school for kids, you know, for them to like be able to go drink and it's okay. It's interesting to me they're still using the word. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So why the frick are they using the word Uber? Yeah, but it's more, yeah, it's like this. It's a private driver, like a campus service. Yeah, I thought it was a personal driver too. So this word right here is kind of throwing flags because we're like, why the frick does this say Uber? That's not normal. It's not supposed to say that. So let me go over here. Did that say 2:10? Let me go back. 2:10 a.m. So you'll be inputting it here. For some freaking reason, I think I'm going to make these a different color all the way around. Okay. To inquire if he is driving. Why are you inquiring if he's driving? Like, why? Where are you going? Where this okay. This is weird. What if he's also the freaking like DoorDash? Since they seem to be mislabeling every freaking thing in this case. What if this Eric Grower guy is really the person who like showed up as a DoorDash, like delivered food? Yeah, it said she was home between 1:15 and 1:30 on a different paper. But I'm almost wondering if she was trying to see like where he was to take her somewhere. Like, was she trying to go somewhere? I'm going to put this question right here. I'm going to make it smaller. Oh boy. I just put these nails on, so I'm not used to texting, like writing with them. So I feel like I'm slow. Okay, we'll just put this here. Was she trying to leave? Because that's a weird, like, why? She got home at 1:15. Okay, so then it goes from 2:10 to 4:19. And there's nothing in this space at all. So what's that, like 2 hours and 9 minutes? Okay. So then well, I guess I can get rid of that part right here. So then from 4:19 to 4:21, Dylan attempts to call Bethany, Xana, Kaylee, and Maddie. And all the calls go unanswered. They don't mention that she tries to call Ethan's phone, I think, until after 4 something. I don't know if that's right. Maybe it was the next day. I think it was at 4:20 something though. Yeah, right here. Okay. So yeah, there's like nothing here, nothing here. We have 4:19. Okay, so I'll just do it like this. 4:19. Dylan begins calling all the girls in the house. Ends at what time? 4:21. Okay. So then we have from 4:22 to 4:24 this conversation, and I'll put this in the timeline and then I'll read it again, but I damn well know there's pieces of this missing. There's no way. There's just no way. So yeah, put it right here. From 4:21. Ends at 4:24. Okay. I'm going to read through these. Bella said, this may not actually be text messages. It may be an app where your messages disappear and some stay. Too many missing messages, or they just deleted some text. I don't know if they deleted it or if this is just how they're giving it to us, because they're saying this came from, it said it. I think it says it up here. The phone records were discovered on the hard drive, which is the same thing when it comes to the storage, like Seagate storage, that they put all of Bryan Kohberger's phone data on whenever they did the forensic download. It's basically that. That's what that is. So I don't know. I guess if it's like messages that were deleted, they would still be able to be found on the hard drive. I don't really know how Apple stuff works, but that's possible. Dang, now you said it too. So let's just go check that out real quick then, because you're the second person to mention that. And I was going to go back to the 911 call after, but let's go ahead and look at that. How did she know that she was 20 before they said it? Let's see if that's what happened here. Okay, let's see. 122, what's your phone number? Okay, what's going on? She's passed out. Are you with the patient? Someone passed out. Can you find out? She's passed out, unconscious. One moment. Copy. This must be what y'all mean. She didn't say it before that, did she? Well, hell. That's a bit odd. Okay, hold on. 911, what's the location of your emergency? Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what we have. What is the address of your emergency? 1122. No, don't. What is the rest of the address? Oh, Kings Road. Okay, and is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. We live at the right, so we're next to them. I need someone to repeat the address for verification. The address, 1122 King Road. And what's your phone number that you're calling from? What's your number? What's the rest? Okay, and tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. No, we saw, okay. And they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi. And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone. Stop passing it around. Can I just tell you what happened pretty much? What is going on currently is someone passed out right now. I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m. Okay, I need to know what's going on right now. Is someone passed out? Can you find out? Yeah, I'll come. Come on, we got to go check, but we have to. Is she passed out? She's passed out. What's wrong? Dispatching Moscow Law ambulance for, she's not waking up, unconsciousness. How, see, this part right here is dumb as shit to me. Like, this is the dispatch person saying something and then somebody cutting in and saying she's not waking up. Why are we not hearing anyone saying anything about how there's freaking blood everywhere? I don't understand that. 07 is en route. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way. Okay, maybe 1122 King Road. All ambulance respond for unconsciousness. All ambulances respond for unconsciousness? All ambulances respond for unconsciousness. Whatever the frick. Doesn't that seem a bit odd? That you would send all of the ambulances for somebody who's unconscious? I copy. Multiple RPs on the phone advise saying the roommate on scene is passed out, not waking up, believes she got drunk last night, and blank about a male being in the room with them. Now, see, this part right here about a male being in the room with them could also be about them saying that Ethan was in the room with Xana, technically. It could be about them seeing somebody, but it could also be about that. And then something about being around. That one I copy about 20-year-old female unconscious trying to get further. Yeah. I mean, there has to be pieces of this missing then. Yeah. They would definitely have to have pieces of this missing for her for the dispatch person to be the first one to mention that she's 20. Because it doesn't say anything about the age until down here. Copy, yeah, it's... Now, somebody in my comments said that there's a neighbor named Evan. I thought maybe this was Ethan, and it was just, like, misheard. Yeah, I don't think it is either. I don't think it is either. Like, some pieces seem like they go together, but then it seems like some of it has, like, pieces missing. They don't give us the freaking names, which is so stupid because we know who the hell is involved for the most part. And we also have initials in other parts of the dispatch. But when it comes to this, they have it like this. Now, the main dispatcher, her name is like Carolina or something. Her name is like given. Then we have Q1, which is, I'm going to assume, one of the first responders. Q3, I don't freaking know. I guess it would have to be the cops, though. Because it sounds like all of these people are law enforcement. Maybe. Because this is like one of the roommates. This, I think, right here is Emily. And this one right here is probably Hunter. But that's all that I can really figure. And it sounds like it's Dylan talking because she's like basically at 4:00, but then they're telling us that it came from Bethany's phone. So maybe we really had it like backwards, because for a while everyone thought that maybe it was coming from Dylan's phone and Dylan passed out. And so that's why somebody else took the 911 call. But what if it was actually Dylan and Hunter and Emily mainly going all back and forth on the 911 call, and Bethany maybe was the one like hyperventilating maybe? But we are literally hearing them say freaking unconscious person. I think my brain just hasn't really established that that's how stupid this shit is right now. Like, how can you freaking be sitting there staring at somebody who's as mutilated as everyone is trying to say that Xana would be from how she fought back, and all you're saying is, oh, she's unconscious from drinking too freaking much? Because it was only like a couple minutes drive. Like 3-minute drive or some crap like that. Not even, from what I can remember. You can't FOIA anything under a gag order. They're not going to release anything else. They're only releasing what they're going to allow to release till the gag order is done. But they should hear, like, I don't see why the transcript, the audio itself, wouldn't be played in a trial. So whatever's missing, unless they go in there and they manipulate the audio, which they're freaking good at, they could easily go in there and cut out the parts that they don't want to play. And I don't think that they're going to be told anything, because apparently their freaking car evidence is just as shisty. But this whole thing, all ambulances respond for unconsciousness. Why would you send everyone out for unconsciousness? That's wild to me. That seems excessive. Very excessive. Yes, 20. Do you want to talk to him? Okay, hello, hello. Dylan or Bethany, I need you to talking to them, okay? I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them. So A2 has to be Emily. It's also kind of odd. They're asking if there's a defibrillator. And at first they're like, no, we don't have a defibrillator. And then, oh, I guess, okay. So then they get on, ambulance gets on scene and they say, yeah, we do have a defib. But then why? Oh, I guess maybe the roommate answered, yes, we have one, because they got there. Yeah, they tried to. Shanquella Robinson was unalived on Halloween, and they tried to blame that on alcohol poisoning. Now these two were trying to say that about Xana. Well, it was also they lied to get that girl out the country so that they can beat the crap out of her and leave her in Mexico. I can't believe the White House didn't do nothing about that. That family went to, like, literally marched on Washington to try to get the freaking Biden administration to help them do something with that, and they're refusing to, even though Mexico has a warrant with the woman's name on it. They just need the United States to extradite the asshole to Mexico. And they have a warrant with her freaking name on it, the woman who's responsible for breaking Shanquella's neck and killing her. And they won't do it. The government won't help, even though Mexico's ready and willing. It's disgusting. This is why justice isn't just any freaking where. They don't care. They don't care. It's just so gross. But this is it. Like, it's these. He walks in and says, okay, I think we have a homicide. So there's that. So as soon as he walks in the house, he can tell it's a homicide. Probably by the damn smell. I don't care how long the damn door was open. It had been going on for hours. But then again, it also depends on what the hell's actually happening here. Because we've got 6 people and ain't nobody saying a word about blood. Not a word about blood. It's just wild to me. That shit doesn't make any sense. That 911 call did nothing but confuse everything. And do y'all remember? I want y'all to put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember Chief Fry coming out literally like the day before they announced Bryan Kohberger's arrest and teasing the release of the 911 call. Do you guys remember that? I remember that because he came out and said it like on the news, like with his face. And then the next day we had an arrest and I'm like, oh, you liar. Y'all were already down in Pennsylvania getting y'all stuff together and you're out here lying to people. See, yeah, wild. Like, why are you manipulating everybody? I don't understand. I guess maybe they said it so that maybe they were trying to like not tip off Bryan that they were coming, thinking that he was watching the news. And maybe he would think, oh, they're releasing the 911 call. You know, if it was him, then he'd be like, oh, they're releasing a 911 call. They're not watching me. Okay, well, you shouldn't be lying to people. Shouldn't be lying to people. This is all just wild to me. It's like multiple states. Oak. She's like, I don't know the question, but 111. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm pretty, look, ain't nobody going to ever change my mind. And I mean, I can't say that. If there's some magical thing that happens that they're going to be able to pull out, which I highly doubt because you cannot do trial by surprise. Anything that they have has to be out here by now. And they are really, 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 really hounding down about how there's no connections anywhere. There's no proof of anything. There's no DNA. There was no nothing, no nothing, no nothing, no nothing. Like the chances that he was able to do what he did without leaving some sort of trail of preparation, the way that they're claiming he did it, there's just no way it's possible. There's just no way it's possible. I'm sorry. I don't care. There's just no way. There's no way. It's not like he would have even had the time on top of that. Like, think about how busy he would have been as a TA, not only doing his own stuff, but also being a freaking teacher and having to grade papers and all that stuff. He doesn't have 15 hours a day to go and like follow people around. It doesn't even make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And again, nothing that came out today points to anybody. It doesn't point to anyone. It doesn't point to anyone other than the roommate's incompetence. That's all that it did. The roommate's incompetence. So let's read these texts one more time until we move on to the next section, because the next section has more timestamps that we're going to put into the thing. Okay. Dylan, no one's answering. I'm really confused right now. Dylan to Kaylee. Kaylee, what's going on? Bethany to Dylan. Yeah, dude, WTF. Xana was wearing all black. And I don't know what that is. Some people were saying that it's a possibility that Dylan said something about seeing somebody wearing all black. And Bethany, I guess, trying to like calm Dylan down was like, but Xana was wearing all black. Or Xana was wearing all black like the last time she saw her, to maybe try to make Dylan. Maybe Bethany wasn't believing that Dylan was really seeing what she was seeing for some reason. And she was trying to calm her down by being like, well, it was probably Xana because she was wearing all black. But that almost kind of like makes me wonder, like, how often would Dylan have to have like freaked out to Bethany about something that's not real for her to placate her like that? If that's the case, because this seems like there's something missing. Like in all of this. Thank you for the 1999 super sticker, Rose. That's very, very sweet. Crime Talk said Dylan went to get Kaylee to come back. Dylan started texting Kaylee, wondering if she was up, but never went to her room before or after calling others. And thank you for the $4.99. Yeah, that's the part that really bothers me, and it's bothered me since we got the story from Christy about the whole scenario of Hunter coming over, the door being blocked, all the things. You instantly call a source outside of the house, and most of you guys have heard this before. I rant about this shit all the freaking time. You can call these sources outside of your house to come over 4 deep to come and help you get a door open, but you don't know, apparently, according to the situation freaking happening, and according to this freaking 911 call that's only about Xana. Not about Ethan, not about Kaylee or Maddie, but only about Xana. Which I've always said the 911 call was never about Maddie and Kaylee. It was always about Xana and Ethan. And I always thought it's because of the Hunter Johnson situation. But they're not even mentioning Ethan in this, and that's bothering me even more. We're going to pull the PCA up here in a minute. But this whole thing just doesn't make any sense. Like, this makes it make less sense than it already made. I'm like, my brain is just a little bit melted a little bit. I think my brain's just a little bit melted a little bit. I don't really know what to think. You call people to come over instead of going upstairs to get the 2 fully grown, able-bodied women that you live with that have that college body strength that we all wish we still had to come down there and help you with Xana. Instead, your first instinct is to call somebody from outside the home. They had to have already known. There's no way. Because how would you not go upstairs and be calling 911 because you see Maddie and Kaylee in Maddie's bed, Maddie laying however she was laying, Kaylee propped up in the corner, slouched down. How do you not see all this and not mention everything that you're seeing on that 911 call? They are screwed. Dylan might have meant scared, but in reality, they're screwed. Exactly, bro. The more we find out, the less we know. Isn't it disgusting? Yeah, she basically instantly was running everywhere. She was text messaging everyone, calling people, having full-blown conversations. She wasn't frozen shock shit. Yeah. They were playing hot potato with the phone during the 911 call. And she was like, stop freaking switching the phone around. I don't know anything about what's happening because you keep switching the phone. Quit it. We don't have any proof of them seeing him wash his car in PA. And even if he did wash his car in PA, he just went on a over 2,000-mile road trip. And just the way that the car looked on the 15th, it was nasty. It looked black instead of white. It was so gross. So yeah, he should have cleaned it. Yeah, she wasn't frozen shock shit, bro. See, and I was just thinking that, like, unless it was literally like the fakest shit ever to get somebody else to come up on the crime scene. But that still doesn't account for the fact that Emily is not mentioning anything about the rest of them. Emily's also not mentioning anything about Ethan, unless it's being said, and for some reason they took it out the transcript, which wouldn't shock me. It really would not shock me. This is just so wild. Okay. I wish the timestamps were on here. I really wish the actual timestamps, because them saying between 422 and 424 doesn't mean shit to me. I need timestamps. Because this tells me that definitely before 422, she must have been hearing stuff. And it had to have been before 419. What time does the camera start? The camera starts at 417. The camera starts at 417. 4:12 is the TikTok. And at 4:20, as we saw on the information that we got about the car, 4:20 is the timestamp that the car that they're claiming is SV1 is apparently leaving. But that screenshot is so crappy. Like, why in the shit would they have used a screenshot of the security footage where the freaking car looks like it's phasing through the metal part of the freaking porch of 1112? Why wouldn't they have taken a screenshot of the damn car once the body of it was past the fence and you could actually see it? Why did they choose the worst one possible to even put in there? It's almost useless. Completely freaking useless. So dumb. So 4:19 is whenever she starts calling people, and the car leaves literally a minute later. And she doesn't start texting until the car leaves. Man, this whole thing right here about her getting a hold of Home Dude is weird to me. Especially whenever we consider the phone calls. Damn, I wanted to fix that line. There it goes. I also really want to know who the hell Jay is. Because like I said, it doesn't say HJ. It just says J. So we can only really speculate who the frick that is. Because we don't have initials. And they had to have done that for a reason. And I think it's because there are so many Jacks, they don't want us to know which Jack it is. And it's to Dylan. And it's before the 911 call. And whatever the text message is, like instantly makes her turn around and call Emily. Well, like a few seconds later, 3 seconds later. Okay, so then Bethany says to Dylan, yeah, dude, what the fuck? Bethany also says Xana was wearing all black. So whatever she said to Bethany, has Bethany reacting? Or is this an indication that Bethany actually heard something? And she's like agreeing with her? I don't even freaking know. And then Dylan to Bethany, I'm freaking out right now. No, it's like a ski mask almost. See, there's conversation in here missing. There's conversation missing here. And then Bethany says, shut the F up, actually. Like, I guess that's like, no, shut up. I don't want to hear that scary shit about the guy in the mask. Headers Better said she wanted to ride so she wouldn't be in the house. Man, it's almost like, what if he is the freaking 4 o'clock, not DoorDash? I don't understand the DoorDash part. Because now this is just bothering me. What are you getting a hold of the driver for after the girls are already home? I mean, I don't know. I don't see. That part right there that we heard is something that really bothers me because I don't want to believe half of anything that Dylan says because none of it makes any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. But you have to try to put together things that make sense. Now, I'm not saying that I 100% believe that she saw Kaylee, but I also don't 100% agree with Ann Taylor when she says that it's impossible because Kaylee was found in a bed. Just because Kaylee was found deceased in a bed doesn't mean that that's where she was the entire time. It just happens to be where I'm sorry, but gonna say where she was discarded. It's almost as like she was attacked somewhere else in the house and she was dumped on Maddie's bed. That's how it seems to me. So I don't agree with Anne that just because everything else is insane and just because Kaylee was found in a bed, that means that Kaylee didn't do that. Because what if Kaylee was on the second floor and just had Murphy just like walking around her house, you know, because she was half-assed still living there, I guess, because she still had her stuff in her room, even though she really wasn't. But regardless, she's like walking around. She goes to go upstairs. Somebody's already upstairs. She freaks the shit out because this guy's got a mask on, or she just doesn't recognize him, or she sees a fight going on upstairs with Maddie. Like something freaks her out. She turns around, she runs downstairs, and she yells, "Somebody's here." Well, in the scenario that we know happened in that house, for her to have been running and screaming that somebody is there and Murphy following behind her down the stairs and it being a whole loud thing, that makes more freaking sense. But I'm almost wondering if it would be picked up on the cameras outside. Because if they have like a altercation happening and they can hear Murphy for like 30 minutes after the car leaves barking, can they hear Kaylee screaming about somebody being in the house? If it's true, I'm pretty sure that it would have been picked up because she would have probably been screaming her head off about it. Because at first we were like, okay, well, with the DoorDash showing up at around 4 o'clock in the morning, if Kaylee was still awake and happened to be like seeing out of a window and she saw headlights or whatever, like turning in, it could have easily just been like her maybe talking to herself or saying to Murphy that somebody was there. If everybody was in their rooms and the house was still, then you probably could have heard her just having, you know, conversation with her dog. I mean, should I talk to my freaking animals? It doesn't have anything else besides these texts. So, I mean, look, if she's texting her daddy, she probably texted her dude too. She probably did. It's just not telling us. Technically, yeah, this is actually, yeah, this is happening while Murphy is like barking his absolute head off. Because Anne says that he continues to bark for 30 minutes after the car leaves. So he doesn't stop barking until around 4:50 in the morning. So he's barking his freaking head off while this conversation is happening. And there's no mention of this either, of Murphy barking. Like she's not even, well, I mean, then again, we've got pieces missing. Seeing somebody outside in a mask, I don't remember that being a thing. We've had so many different rumors about the possibilities of what Bethany could have seen. I know that there was some people from the frats and the sororities. I think they were talking to the What's the Obsession channel, and she had said something about seeing a guy in all black, I think like running across where the cars were parked, but the description didn't go past that when it comes to Bethany, which would have been her seeing somebody out of her own bedroom window, if that's the case. I mean, she can't really say that that's the reason why she didn't call it whenever she's texting her daddy at 11:40 in the morning before the 911 call. So she can't even use that as an excuse. And then she's also texting them at 10 o'clock in the morning too. So there's that. She's just full of excuses. Hey, Mark and Betty. It's been a day. My brain is about to blow up. See, that right there. Like, I don't give a hell of a freaking nothing about, oh, well, she was just a college kid. I'm sorry, but if you're freaking out, you're scared, you claim that you're seeing somebody in a freaking mask, you're hightailing it out of your room down to the bottom floor, because I don't know what you think your little bitty old friend down there is going to do to protect you from anything. I don't know what the point of that is instead of running out the door for safety. Like, that whole thing makes no sense even more. Like, you're putting yourself in a corner going down into the freaking basement. And so you go down into the basement and put yourself in a corner where you can't escape nowhere unless you try to jump out the freaking window instead of just leaving. Like, you're jetting out of your own room. If you were really that scared, you could have ran out of the freaking house and called the cops. Like, none of this makes them look any better. And I really feel like lives could have been saved. And I think that they know that. And I think that maybe they could get in trouble for not calling 911 because this is all very much proof that they were both aware of the situation. And if they would have done the right thing, then maybe not 4 lives would have been lost. See, I question that part. I actually do question if they know for sure that it was Murphy, because I thought beforehand that they would have been able to say that they knew that it was Murphy because it was coming from inside the house. But now that they've said that they did testing on the audio and it sounds like he was barking from the outside, I'm like, okay, but how do you know that it was Murphy then? And that goes back to people's original question, which makes a lot of sense because there was more than just Murphy in that neighborhood. I guess they can test this, like how far away from the microphone. There's all kinds of scientific shit they can do. There's definitely some sort of equation they can use when it comes to the decibels that they can figure out if he was in the backyard, out the slider, or if he was on the balcony. See, the neighbor has a dog too. The only reason why I would say 95%, maybe even a little bit higher, that it was Murphy is because no one was shutting him up. And I'm sorry, but if my dog was barking his freaking head off at 4 o'clock in the morning in a freaking neighborhood where he was waking everybody up, my ass would have been outside yelling and barking, like yelling at him for barking. But I also wouldn't have my dog out at 4 o'clock in the freaking morning. Like, my dogs go on a leash to our backyard to go to the bathroom because I don't want them escaping and going anywhere crazy. So there's that. No one was stopping the dog from barking. So I don't believe that it was the neighbor's dog. The neighbor would have stopped the dog. In my opinion, the neighbor would have stopped the dog. No, if he was locked in a cage in Kaylee's car, you wouldn't even be able to hear the poor thing. It's been pretty soundproof. It'd been pretty soundproof. So then I guess to the ski mask thing, Dylan then says, like, he had something over his head and mouth. This was probably supposed to say head and nose and mouth, but she's like frantic, I guess, or at least she's trying to act like she is. This whole thing just doesn't make any freaking sense. And then she says, Bethany, I'm not kidding. I'm so freaked out. Okay, so this part right here would have been enough for me, bro. Like, if you're going to sit there and be like, I'm so freaked out. I'm really confused. What's going on? Like, this is all indicators that you know that something is wrong. But then also Bethany says, so am I. So this right here is all that we need to know. Like, screw all the rest of the conversation. You can't deny shit with these 2 sentences. You cannot deny anything with these 2 sentences. And then the fact that Bethany is telling her to run, what's she running for if nothing's going on? Because she can't even honestly say at this point if she saw an unknown person. I mean, obviously we know the situation happened. We have 4 people that are no longer alive. But this shit doesn't make any sense. She didn't even freeze. Miss Ma'am never even froze. She was up texting and calling. She only got a couple hours sleep. She was up calling and texting again. And that's just what we know. There's no freaking way in hell that 11:39 a.m. text to her damn daddy was the first one. Ain't no way. Yeah, texted her dad instead of 911. Or was it a call? We'll get there because it's going to go on the timeline. And we got another time right here. Let me get this thing going right here. Okay. At 4:24, Dylan then calls Ethan's phone and it goes unanswered. So let's add that. 4:24. No answer. Okay. Dylan and Bethany continue to text. So when does she go down there? Because Bethany says, run, come to my room, run down here. And that stops at 4:24:27. And a few seconds later, she calls Ethan. They're still texting. 4:24, they're still texting. Dylan tells Bethany, this is where I think it's supposed to say I'm scared, though. I think that's supposed to say I'm scared. What time does she go to her freaking room? I don't think it says. We don't have the time that she went down there. That's how I feel, that her daddy told her what to do. That's why he's so protective. I mean, besides the fact that's his daughter, but he's like, I'm going to come after anybody who says anything about my kid. Well, come at me, musclehead. Like, I'm going to have my damn questions. You can just kiss my fat butt. I mean, that's what I thought originally, that it was screwed, but I think it's scared. And that's why Bethany, I guess Bethany could figure that that's what she meant. And that's why she said, well, it's better than being alone. See, that's the only thing that would make any sense. But then it doesn't make the story that Christy told make any sense. It really doesn't. Maybe I need to move my face a little bit, because I noticed that this always does this like this. Do I need to go up some? I mean, it's going to look kind of funny whenever I'm not reading a message. I'll just be levitating, but that'll be fine for now, I guess. I'll fix it later. But yeah, Ali says, I agree with you, Jules. I think that when they walked down the hallway, they saw Xana. I never believed Ethan was behind the door. But see, to me, that made sense with the story that Christy was telling us. But we also just only know what she knows based on what she was told. And they're saying that the story that they got came from Hunter Johnson. So there's that. And I'd love to know what the truth is. Because it doesn't seem like he's honestly being honest. Because the way that the story was brought to us was that it was Ethan that was behind the door, blocking the door. That's what was seen. And now it's Xana. I mean, that would make more sense if you're like looking in your brain. Open your third eye and visualize the room. Okay, this is how my brain works. I'm visually, I can't even talk. Visualizing a room, and the door is like right here. I know that whenever I am looking towards where Xana's room would be, that the bed should be in a certain position, that the closet door was in a certain position. Like looking at the house, like I can see it in my head. Okay, so if the door again is open a little bit, why would you not look all the way in though? I'm really trying to make it make sense why no one's freaking talking about Ethan. And it's not working. Because even if you've gotten the door open enough, if the door situation was the case to where something was not allowing you to open the door, that's not even really what's being said here either. All they're saying is that Xana was drinking too much the night before and now she won't wake up. That almost makes it sound like the door was not opened and that's why they had to call 911 because they couldn't get the door open, period. Meaning, like, that's why they're saying Xana wouldn't wake up. Because if they had gotten that damn door open, they would have seen blood. And this call would not be this way. They had to have. I mean, and even if not, like, if you're visualizing Xana, how are you just literally saying that she's unconscious and won't wake up? Are you not seeing that her hand is half cut in half? Are you not seeing that her fingers are barely hanging on? And that her body is completely limp and full of holes and gouges? Like, how do you not see this? See? We were told by Trashley on News Nation that Hunter Johnson checked Ethan's pulse. And that doesn't make a lot of sense if you consider what we've been told. But it sure makes a lot of sense now that we've read the 911 call. So what is the truth? Were these kids even actually like attacked with a weapon? I'm very confused about what's going on, because this story about she's just unconscious from drinking the night before goes along with seeing no wounds and checking a pulse. But that doesn't match the story that we're being told about how they died. This is getting on my damn nerves. And then why was the story that the Goncalveses got told by their own freaking blood, okay, by her own niece named Sabrina? Why is that story that there was some sort of shoot 'em up situation the night before? Why is that the first rumor that got started? I'm just so bewildered. We do not. We do not. We just know what Steve has said in passing whenever they got the death certificate information, because they apparently saw Maddie's along with Kaylee's. I remember that being a theory. I remember that being a theory that they'd actually OD'd and that the stab wounds were post-mortem. But there's no proof of that. That's just a rumor. But I mean, I understand why that got started, because we've got no one saying that they're seeing any blood and people being called over whenever there's people upstairs, but still nobody claiming that they know that there's wrong with anything, that there's anything wrong going on upstairs. And no one's talking about the fact that it stinks so bad that they want to pass out. No one's mentioning that. Well, we don't know that either because it hasn't been released. All we know is that stupio Howard Bloom came out and tried to say that the toxicology reports were clear. Well, I highly doubt that he knows that. Unless he's getting information from somebody who's getting information from somebody, he's not getting the information from the Goncalveses. But then again, I don't know what other family members might be talking to him. I have no clue. And I don't know if Brett Norton and Howard Bloom are still talking or any of that. I know that they had stopped talking, and then there was another project that he wanted her to freaking help him with or some shit like that. And I'm just like, why are we doing this again? It just proves that he loves the drama. Yeah, there was a big thing about that situation, about there being a rug issue. The toxicologist didn't release anything. Where? I don't remember the toxicologist releasing anything. We just heard from Bloom. I think it was not this last section of hearings where he got on Megan Kelly, but the one before. He mentioned it in an article or some shit like that, but there is nothing official released about the toxicology or the autopsy. I mean, if you can find a link, I'll be gladly proven wrong. I'd love to see it, but as far as I know, there's nothing official. See, that's what she said. Thank you for the $2. That's what she freaking said. Look, I'll have to go and get the link. And it's the video where Daniel basically clickbaited everybody over on Drunk Turkey, saying that Christy Goncalves was going to be doing an interview with them. And instead it was like an off-camera interview, and he just came in and talked and answered a bunch of questions. Well, there was some stuff said about Dylan and Bethany, two major things that he said in his live that he ended up not putting back into his secondary video, because he ended up taking the live down and then did a 17-minute recap video and never put the live back up. And I was like, hold up, homeboy, there was two very important things about the roommates that you totally said over her that you didn't say over her. And I made a whole video running my mouth about it. Okay. It pissed him off. It pissed off Steve Goncalves. That's that video of me calling out the information that was being taken back away and all the drama that came with it is what got the Goncalveses got me on the Goncalves' radar. And I'm fine with that. They don't like me. I don't care. I'm honest. They don't like it. Not my issue. I'd rather be hated by them for being truthful and honest than liked for being like JLR, because they sure seem to like to parasite to his ass hardcore. It's gross. He came out talking all kinds of shit about Kaylee and Maddie, and they invite that dude into their house. It's gross. Oh, he was doing something. I think it was yesterday. We were going through Twitter, and just scrolling through Twitter, I saw that there was like some titles of his stuff that popped up. And one of them was like, how's Bryan Kohberger going to explain this away? And I'm like, what crap did you just magically pull out of your ass? Because we literally haven't heard anything that he can't explain away so far. We're all looking at the exact same documents. And then he had Jennifer Coffingagger on his show, which tells me right there all I need to know. Tells me what I need to know. Yeah, see, and that part was always dumb. She should have never said that. That was Mabbit. That was Mabbit in, I think, the sit-down interview where she's at a desk. She's in her own office and the cameras were brought to her. And she said toxicology wouldn't be needed. And I'm like, excuse me? Just because they've got wounds, allegedly, doesn't mean you don't need the toxicology. And it didn't make any sense for Bloom to come out here and say that there wasn't anything in the toxicology in the first place, because not only is Dylan off of her freaking rocker, but we saw that Maddie and Kaylee couldn't stand straight. That part. And I'm sorry, but if Maddie was actually asleep, I don't think that she would have a mixture of stuff underneath her fingernails. Okay? I don't think she would have a mixture of DNA underneath her fingernails if she was asleep during the situation. Now, granted, it's possible that she just kind of like woke up at the very end and fought back whatever was happening. That's very possible. But it's interesting. It's extremely interesting. It's wild. Extremely wild. Oh, and then what else did we find out? Who else? Forensic Frenzy also gets contacted by the Goncalveses, and she's been out here pushing the narrative for months and months now that everyone out here is so stupid and the pro-burgers are so dumb that they think that the feds aren't going to do this and the feds aren't going to do that, and Cy-Ray's no longer on the case because she's getting told all these lies by the Goncalveses. And what did we find out in the last documents? Cy-Ray is still being listed as a freaking expert on the case. She's been lying to everybody and trying to make it seem like she knew something when she didn't know shit. He's still freaking on the case. And she's been saying that for months. Months. Like, girl, take your information somewhere else because you're wrong. And it's all Steve. I know for a fact that it's all Steve Goncalves. Like, why wouldn't you want the truth out here? Why are you continuing to feed these damn lies? And again, his back asswards behavior makes me sick because he was all about asking all the right questions. The more that they had on their side, like the more the state had on their side that we hadn't been able to like pick apart, that hadn't been like discussed yet in court, the more that it was more favorable to the state, the more questions Steve had on what was going on. But the more that the state's case unravels, the less that Steve seems to care that something's freaking wrong here. And I don't understand that. Why not want the freaking truth? Why are you out here? Like, Steve is apparently in these groups that are run by certain creators that we've already discussed over the past few minutes. And he's trying to push narratives about things that are not true. Like, he's putting little pieces of evidence out there in these groups that are not evidence, that's already been proven to be false, and trying to get people to like pound down on these things that are not real, that have already been proven to not have anything to do with Bryan. You would think, as alpha as this man likes to pretend to be, that he would be out here demanding that the state get their shit together. That he wouldn't be okay. Oh, let me go turn my alarm off. Hold on. Yeah, you would just think that he would just not be okay with the way things are going because there's no answers to things and everything's being torn apart. You would think that he would be out here demanding more truth. And it just makes me sick that he went from somebody who sounded like he was really like about it. Because y'all that have been here forever know I was telling people to leave the Goncalveses alone. Leave Steve alone. They're out here advocating for their kid. It wasn't until the facade broke that we started asking questions about all that shit too. That's why this channel is about the victims and the victims only. Okay, the families get the support that they need as long as they deserve it. But once their true colors start showing and their agendas are shining bright, I'm no longer obligated to be nice. Especially whenever it's doing this. They're acting like Kaylee is the only person who died here. And it's gross. It's gross. And I don't really know what to think about the Goncalveses. I mean, not the Goncalveses, the Chapins. All of a sudden changing their minds. It's very odd. It's very odd. But I don't know what the point is. Like, they've missed a lot, but maybe all of this stuff not adding up is maybe making them question stuff. But then again, I kind of feel like they already kind of like know the truth. Because I really do feel like the fraternity is like hella involved. The school covered up things for reasons that don't make any sense for what the situation was. I'll never trust that. I will never trust that. It's just so much. It's just so much. Let's get back to this so we can fill in this timeline. Okay. So yeah, these text messages are going on while Murphy is barking and after the car has already left. But I want to know why they ended it at 4:25. Because the only thing about 4:25, ooh, why did that just do that? Is right here, this 4:25 text to Bethany about, well, at least you're not alone. But it doesn't say why they ended the crime at 4:25. Because the last text message that they have right here is 4:32. So I don't know why they decided to do that. They're going to have to, like, I guess, make that make sense. Because if they want to try to say that it's the white car, but then you just ended at 4:20. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Okay. So then at 4:27, she tries to call Kaylee again. So let's put that one here. 4:27. Ew, I don't want it to look like that. 4:27 a.m. Call Kaylee. And then the next minute at 4:28, she tries to call Xana. What in the world? Just give me my number. Don't even make no sense. Why are you doing this to me? There it goes. Damn, it still put the damn zeros in there. Whatever. Keep your damn zeros. Oh, now it went away. Whatever. Okay. And then at 4:28, tries to call Xana. Oh my gosh, you can hear my child stomping down the hallway chasing the animals. Okay. And then I need to make these blue. Okay. 4:32, Dylan sends a text message to Kaylee just saying, please answer. And that's where they stop. That's where they stop for the morning. And Murphy still barks for another 20 minutes after this, according to Ann Taylor. And make it blue. Okay. So 4:19, 4:21, 4:24. Okay. So at 10:23. See, that's why I'm telling you, damn it, Kim. The Kim stuff from the original story has some damn legs now. I can't sit here and pretend like it doesn't because of this damn thing right here. Like, I can't just ignore that now. I have to give it some sort of possibility. Especially since we're seeing how, like, disgustingly distorted and missing pieced these messages themselves are. And then this right here is honestly like another indicator. This shit right here. At 11:50, Dylan receives a text message from whoever Jay is just saying bro. If that's before she calls Emily, and if that's before the 911 call, but after she gets a hold of her dad, then how am I supposed to believe? Why would I sit here and believe that she wasn't getting a hold of a million other people before 10 and after? I know. And look, I've wanted to talk. I had been trying to. I wanted to talk to Kim like a lot. I used to have her phone number. I got it from Dago, okay, a long time ago, but I never used it because I mean, I always wanted to talk to her, but then I knew I was just gonna like being upset because I knew she was just gonna be everywhere and repeat her little script that she had, and it was gonna get on my damn nerves instead of her just going back to her roots of her story and being honest. I felt like her version of what happened is just too far tainted. So I guess I just need to really go back and listen to my original video where I first talked about Kim's story because it's going to be the most pure and unadulterated version of whatever happened there. So that's probably what I'm going to have to do. I think that the WSU narrative is probably like my most viewed video in the Idaho case. It has like 110,000 views or some shit like that, which is a little crazy because it's the most rumored. Like it's the most one that has like no actual stance behind it. It's just somebody with a theory. I mean, at this point, I feel like they definitely have to have their Snapchat somewhere. I mean, now, why would I think not? This timestamp right here tells me that there's an issue there. Huge issue there. So we're going to have to like maybe wait for that because there's going to be probably a whole lot more people that take the stand about knowing what happened and when, I feel like. And they're also only mentioning that Dylan was trying to get a hold of, oh no, it's both of them. So she tries to get a hold of Kaylee and Maddie, but they still don't go upstairs. So then, okay, let's put this 10:23 in. I got to add a couple lines here because there's a bunch of shit that apparently happens before 11:58. Like a lot of things. I'll leave that a little bit blank too. AM. She's texting both of them, right? Yeah. Dylan, text, Maddie, and Kaylee. Okay. Okay. 11:39. Dylan has a text exchanged with her father, Brent. I'm really wondering what she said in this. Like, is this... Again, I don't really think that this would be like the first time. It could be, but I highly doubt it because at this point, it's been an hour and 6 minutes since she tried to get a hold of Kaylee. I just don't feel like this is the first time. And he's going to probably end up testifying because whatever the hell this is, they know. They can't hide it. Okay, 11 what? 11:39 a.m. Dylan texts with her dad, Brent. Okay. And then we have The 11:50 of Dylan getting a text from whoever the frick Jay is. It drives me insane. Does she have siblings? Is Jay someone that Dylan's dad could have gotten in contact with? Or what about who's the president of her sorority? Oh, yeah, look, yeah. Yeah. I don't know her siblings. Okay, I've seen this name. So who is Josie? Because I've seen that name, and I know that I think I've seen you mention it too. There's been a couple people that mentioned a girl named Josie. Who is that? She has 6 freaking siblings? I didn't know that. But who is Josie, though? Like, who is she to these people? Oh, man. See, I don't want to start that rumor. Do we know if Dylan knew Jasmine before? Hand? Shit. Shit. Thank you for the $5, Adrian. What Dylan, schizophrenic, visual and audio, wasn't sure it was true. Like, was she schizophrenic? Could explain no response to Murphy and over-explaining. I'm just pondering. I mean, I don't know. The only thing about her mental whatever, according to the documents, is that she's been lucid dreaming since she was in high school, and that she has really intense dreams about being like kidnapped and chased. But that's all they've mentioned. I've heard some things from people that know some things about things that were inside of her room. I mean, it's not nice stuff. It's kind of like Marilyn. It's like artwork that would remind you of a Marilyn Manson situation. Is really the only way I can put it from how it's being described to me. Yeah, I mean, I know that Jeff was on his way back home and he had to turn back around. But wouldn't he have not been told until after the 911 call? So that's why I'm like, okay, could it be? That would sort of allude a lot too. They were definitely getting a hold of a hell of a lot more people. If Jasmine maybe would have been told something all the way over at WSU. Josie's a friend of the girls from a different sorority. See, I don't know. Jay Reed, a frat bro. Yeah, Dylan described her own drawings. That's what it seems like to me. She's describing the intruder by describing her own drawings. And there's no way that that's not it, because she says she knows he was white. She doesn't know how he was white, just that he was white. What you freaking mean you don't know how he was white? Well, probably because you were staring at your white walls with your big old bushy eyebrows all over them, and your brain really was probably playing tricks on you. Look, it's happened. This kind of crap right here. Doing something crazy while you're dreaming. That's not an unusual theory. I read your email, but I mean, it just shows. Remind me what it says, because it's really just like the trash can or dumpster over by Ridge Road, right? I don't think dumpster placement can prove innocence or guilt, but I am going to look at what you were talking about. I might actually pull it up tonight. We'll see. Because I know that you said that there was something blurred by Ridge Road, which doesn't make sense. I still haven't watched that. I need to. There's lots of things I need to do. Lots of different things. Like I said, I was supposed to put a video out today about Letcher County because we have some insanity plea whatchamadoodles documents. And it's almost edited, but then this stuff happened and I was like, okay, my brain isn't going to be able to concentrate on nothing else. I don't know. Maybe. There's all kinds of different substances. Oh boy, Joe from the Corner Club. I don't think he even knew them girls. I mean, I could be wrong. He might have known them in some way, shape, or fashion. I don't remember him having any sort of anything. Oh, do we know if she's on any medications? I don't know if she's on medications. Then it's not just like her artwork. It's also the fact that she has little human cutouts with weird eyes and big eyebrows put on a corkboard with pins. And like I said in my video about it, it could be because I have a lot. I'm literally half Texan, half Cajun. We got some native in there somewhere. We got some Irish in there somewhere. We got a bunch of things in there somewhere. I'm basically a mutt. But when it comes to this country, I'm half Texan, half Cajun. Half of my family lives in Louisiana. They're the Bajerons, the Broussards, the Lemilliers, all that stuff. Okay. So whenever I think of little human people with some pins through them, the first thing I'm thinking is voodoo. What are you freaking doing? What are you freaking doing? It's a little bit much. From the documents that we read in the bushy eyebrow paperwork yesterday. If you go back to the live that we did yesterday or day before yesterday, it's about the bushy eyebrows and how there's a bunch of artwork. It's not photos. It's human figures, like cut out human figures, according to what Detective Lake said it looked like. It's not photographs. If it was photographs, that's cool. I've got photographs on certain things and little pins in the corner to keep the pictures up. But whenever you've got cut out human figures and you're popping them onto a corkboard, where's the needles? With a whole bunch of eyebrows and emphasis on the eyes is how it was written. Emphasis on the eyes. It's just a lot. This is such a lot of information. Okay. I want to know who the frick Jay is. Dylan gets a text from Jay that just says bro. Whatever the frick that means. Whatever in the Frizzak. Oop. That's the wrong shade. Okay. Okay, and then 11:50. So look, it's the same minute. She gets this text message at 11:50, 55, and literally 3 seconds later, she's calling Emily. So it wasn't Hunter Johnson that got called. It was Emily, and Emily happened to be with Hunter Johnson. Yeah. That's the channel email. You can also go to the oh. So Dylan's boyfriend's dad's name is Jeremy. Bro can be used for literally any sort of freaking emotion. So true. Oh, this crap makes sense. Okay, let's put this part in here. Okay. Now let's see. See, this is also whatever, again, whoever freaking Jay is. Sends another text message at 11:51. I'm probably going to go ahead and pull up that thing, Miller, because I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, and I want to see what you're talking about. So I'll do that here in a second. Okay. I don't really care about what time the Vandal alert came out. Is that everything when it comes to this little timeline? Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, like Maddie's, isn't that Maddie's boyfriend? Is that Maddie's boyfriend's name? Well, this is interesting. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to see if there's a way I can open this without y'all seeing everything in my email. Okay. So, anonymous person here just sent me this. Make sure I'm not showing your name anywhere when I scroll down. Hold on a minute. Okay. Right here. Okay. So they just sent me this. Oh, hold on. This thing just tripped out. Hold on. I'm trying to get it right because I'm trying to just like, I'm trying to open it big. And I don't want to show her stuff. Okay. Okay. So she just sent me this. And it says that the Josie person lived in the Taylor apartments and that she's actually the person who took this photo. And if we scroll down, it says her name is Josie Louderin. So I guess that's a possibility. You're not wrong. It's definitely a possibility, but I don't know anything about that person, but that's interesting. She was at the party that Friday before. I mean, yeah, if they live that close, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Hold on. Let me go in and try to see if I can go find Miller's email. Because I got a lot of emails. Because there was something to do. He sent me something. They sent me something about Ridge Road. And how they noticed that there was something on Google Earth. Is this it right here? There it is. Okay. So his email says that if you look at 1125 Ridge Road, that it's a large apartment building, and it looks like there's a big dumpster behind it. It's in the corner of a parking lot. And 465 Boyd Avenue is blurred. Actually, you know what? We can figure this out right now. If this 465 Boyd Avenue is anything important, we can figure this out right now. Actually, because the document that I had wanted to go over is this one right here. This is the one that I showed you guys before we jumped off that live earlier. And this one has all of their exhibits that they're going to submit. So let me get the spelling of the road right. And then I'm just going to Control F and C. Boyd isn't on the list. Let me type in yeah, it works if you type in a regular word. But Boyd isn't on the list, so I guess that it's whatever it is, it's not part of whatever they're doing. Is there anything from Ridge? Holy crap, there's nothing from Ridge either? There's nothing from Ridge in this. Because it says at trial. Why would you not have Ridge on here? That's freaking confusing. Huh. Yeah, Ridge Road isn't even on here. I don't understand that. Yeah, that is weird. I'd like the explanation for why she felt the need to do that. It's very strange. I mean, you can request your house to be blurred out, Miller Time. There's literally a form on Google. You just go in and fill it out. They don't even ask if you're the homeowner or if you're the whatever. You just you request for your house to be blurred and they'll blur it. That's yeah. But I mean, I showed you the list. I'll even drop the link. You can go look yourself. There's nothing about the roads that you're talking about even on it. I'm not lying to you. I got no reason to. You can check it. There's a link right there. Ridge Road isn't there either, though, so that's odd. They use Ridge Road like for all. You know what? We're just gonna go ahead and go through this list. You all ready to go through this list? We got all the text messages down on the timeline, and I'll go in and take more notes and put them over here on this side eventually. But I think we should just probably go ahead and go through the list since we're talking about it. Yeah, dropping them in chat from StreamYard is the only way that I can get them to actually show up for you guys. If I try to do it on like through the YouTube thing, it doesn't let me. Okay, we're gonna go through this list then. Because I'm not gonna lie, I went through it. Just a teeny little bit. I went through it. And there is a commonplace I find interesting. It could be completely freaking coincidental. But there's a commonplace. So we're gonna go through it. Coffee sounds good. I don't want to be up forever though. So I'm just drinking some of that pineapple coconut flavored sparkling water with some lemon ice so I can just kind of like stay up. I'm really trying to just be able to go to sleep as soon as I get off the live. Great question. No idea. No clue. Oh, but that actually reminds me. I'm going to put Dylan home at 1:15 because the paperwork that we read yesterday said between 1:10 and 1:15, right? Something like that. I know it wasn't past 1:15. And I think we were originally told like 1:30. Something like that. Or 1:45. But the paper that we just read said 1:15. Dylan home from some freaking where. My God. Okay, Dylan home from somewhere. Because for some reason, we're not allowed to know where the frick she came from. Where she was. She didn't say she saw them leaving the party at 1:45. She actually only said that she saw them at 9 o'clock. My doc told me to drink fluids and get rest, so I drank whiskey until I blacked out. Hey, follow doctor's orders. Okay, so the domestic dispute stuff was Joseph Morris's disgusting dumbass that took some Twitch streamer's domestic violent dispute that happened to have been recorded on one of her Twitch streams, I believe is how it went, is what he used to create this whole thing of there being some sort of argument on camera, and it's not true. It's not true. Are these real? Like, is this really like the pictures that she had in her room? Oh, shit. Where'd it go? I don't know. I can't validate that. I'd have to go back and look at photos. I have no idea. Okay, you can't. Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't know. I mean, I do see lots of different kind of eyes. This face looks bloody. I don't know. No idea. They are the same photos. Yeah, I don't know. It's very possible. It's very possible. Somebody just asked me about autopsy stuff again. They haven't released it. It hasn't been released. Not to the public. I don't even think that the Goncalveses or the families have the full autopsy reports either. I think they only have the death certificate that give like the manner and mode and time. I don't think that they have like the full on things. I really don't. I really don't think so. Yes. See, and this is another reason why I'm not going to be able to like let go of the frat thing for like a super freaking long time. Because what we were told is that whatever was said to Jeff Kernodle, like to Jeff on the phone from Xana, had him wanting to go drive over there. And that Jasmine had to be like, no, you've been drinking. You're not going any freaking where. Because he wanted to drive over there. And if there wasn't some sort of like situation going on between Xana and Ethan that would make him want to buck up like that, then what else could it have been but the confrontation that we've already heard about with the frat? Mm-hmm. It was Bloom's punk self. He's the only person that's ever come out and said that the toxicology was clear, and that mushroom face don't know anything. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she has a driver's license. Lots of college kids that live in a place where they don't have to drive don't have one. So I don't know. She might now. Or they could have both been drinking. I don't remember how old Jasmine was, but she was with her dad, so maybe they were both drinking. I don't know. I don't even think it's a freaking DoorDash anymore. Like, now that we know that freaking Dylan was getting a hold of the Eric Grower guy, I'm like, what kind of boo-boo are we trying to believe here? Like, this shit doesn't even make any freaking sense. It doesn't make any freaking sense. It really just doesn't. Okay, let's go ahead and go through this list. Make sure I didn't miss anything on this one. Okay. Let me go ahead and save this real quick. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put some of these in the members only folder. I'll probably do it after the stream. Yeah, William. At 2:10. Here, I'll show you. At 2:10 and 29 seconds, Dylan sends a text message to Eric Grower asking if he was driving. I guess asking if he was on the clock. Well, yeah, see, that's not, you know what? You freaking so smart, bro. You right. How the frick do we know if this is in the morning? I know it says timeline for the night, but what if this is like 2:00 in the afternoon and she's trying to get a ride to wherever she is until she gets back home at 1:15? You're not wrong, William. It's possible because they're not being very clear, are they? You're right. I mean, I would just assume that that's what it means, though, because it says that this is a timeline to prove that she was awake and texting. So I guess it could be like a 2 p.m. thing before she's out for the night, but it does sound more like it's in the morning because of this awake and texting thing. But why in the frick? Or is she trying to get a hold of this guy? Yeah, that's true too. They probably would use military time if it was in the afternoon. You're right. And not just her, but Kaylee and Maddie have been home for a good 20 minutes at this point, right? Let me see the timing. 1:56, the girls got home, and she texted him at 2:10, so 14 minutes. Here's whenever they get home. Is there a way to make this bigger? Holy crap, Oli. It was on 80. There, y'all can maybe see it a little bit now. But yeah. $1:56, the girls get home, and at 2:10, she's texting that guy. Why? Yeah, if it was the night before for 2 p.m., it would say the 12th. You're right. It doesn't show if he replies. It just says that she texted him. There's a shit ton of stuff missing. What if the text was a signal somehow? I mean, who freaking knows? Yeah, see, I read an article. I did a video of a little article that I found going back through some old postings on Sleuthy Goose. I can never say her name correctly the first time I try to say it. sleuthy goosey's Twitter page when I was going back trying to find the timeline for the exculpatory information from Bethany, because people kept trying to say that we had all these statements and these affidavits and all this stuff. And I'm like, we don't even freaking know if the interview happened. All we know is that she agreed to it, and then we just freaking didn't hear nothing. We don't know when they went to Nevada to talk to her. We don't know freaking nothing. We know freaking nothing, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. No, they said she got home at 1:15. And they're saying awake and texting as in home and chilling at home. They leave the grub truck at 1:50. They walk up at 1:40 and they leave the grub truck at 1:50. I went back and I watched, hold on a second. I went back and I watched the footage, and they step up on the curb at 1:40. What I don't know is the time of the "What did you say to Adam" video. I know that, like, they're walking with Jack S, and that we see them on the security footage at Corner Club at 1:32, and that they walk up on the food truck at 1:40. But I don't recall ever seeing a timestamp on the footage from, I think, the bank. Is that, I think, where it came from? I don't really remember. But I don't know the timestamp on the "What did you tell Adam" video. So that's like the one thing. And I went back and I looked at it a couple times, a couple different sources that had it, and I never found a timestamp. So I don't know if it was before the Corner Club or after the Corner Club, because just because they got dropped off at the Corner Club at 10:20 doesn't mean they sat there for 4 hours before they walked out. They could have walked around to somewhere else or whatever, because they apparently had a chaperone. So what time? I don't know. I need to put it in there. I figured it was right before. Like, I figured it was like on the walk over. I just don't have the exact like timestamp, because none of the videos that got shared by people or by mainstream, none of them had the timestamp on it. The second one, it's still just a still shot. At least that we've seen. So let's go ahead and go through this document, because it'll tell us if there's more. Now, this is their motion in limine for self-authentication of records in reliance on the IRE rules. The fake Detective Mowry said something in here a minute ago about what this actually meant. And now I don't remember where it was. The screenshot for Corner Club is 1:32. Let me see. I want to try to like get an explanation for what this means, because a lot of these are banks. It's not residents. It's banks and stores and stuff like that. Okay, so it's basically exactly what it sounds like it is. Self-authenticating crime evidence refers to documents, records, and other items of evidence that are considered self-authenticating, meaning that their authenticity is established without the need for extrinsic proof. Meaning, when you look at it, you know exactly what you're looking at. There's no question about what it is. It just is what it is how that sounds. Yeah, it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. See, I remember there being a rumor that there was some sort of call, but then it kind of just went quiet. And the whole stuff about Banfield is just odd too. So I don't know. All right, let's go through this list. None of the rest of this matters because it's literally all the same thing that's been in all of it about it being part of the IRE 803 rules for evidence. So this is going to be a list of like footages, and I'm going to guess it's all surveillance footage from how it looks. Well, no, that's not true because there's also some sale records, financial records, stuff like that. Okay, so let me see. You know what? Can I make this where y'all can see it better? Hold on. Y'all might hear, ooh, what in the shit? That was weird. Y'all might hear my ginormous son in there laughing like a freaking hyena because he's playing with his friends and he's getting loud. I can hear him cackling like a witch. It gets so crazy. Okay, let's see. Okay, that should be a little bit bigger for y'all to be able to view it. Okay, so we're going to start up here. Linda Lane became relevant whenever I believe Payne said something about Linda Lane in the closed hearing transcripts that took place on the 23rd of January. I just don't know what portions of Linda Lane are going to be relevant. So let's just figure that out. Hey, Sheila. Let's try to figure that out. Okay. Hey, Bri. And hello to anyone else who's in here that I have missed because we've been like brain melts. Brain melts. Okay. So 1320 Linda Lane surveillance footage from November 13th. They got the hard drive on April the 5th. And then also 1330 Linda Lane. I'm going to have to pull up a map to see. Because I don't remember the address of the Linda Lane stuff. I don't remember the exact address that it was pulled from. The one that's actually circulating. Okay, so we've got 1320 in the lane. This should tell me exactly. Oh, it looks like it is that corner. Yeah, because look, it shows the dumpster right here. Let me, hold on. Okay. Does it let the little dude go down here? Barely. So it's on this side where the dumpster is. It is right here. Because that's the 1320 building. So that's not the building where that camera footage came from though, right? Because that camera footage is this parking lot over here. The one that's circulating, that the Linda Lane that we've all been discussing, it's over here. And the camera is like down in here somewhere. And it's going out towards that parking lot. So they've got a camera from here, which would mean that, are they going to try to say that the sunroof car is the car too? Because this is where the sunroof car is. And I believe that this is also the dumpster that a couple of channels have done videos on, that a guy put something that they believe was a knife in the dumpster. Is this that same angle? I believe this is that same angle. So then we have 1330 Linda Lane, which would probably be this building right here. But let's just, let's just make sure. 1330 is which one? See, and right here it went weird. I didn't even click on anything like that. Is it the next building over? Yeah. So 1320 is right here. 1328 would have been the other one that I was looking at. So it's actually over here more this way. So 1330 would be that right angle, right? Doesn't this look like this? I mean, this is the parking lot that we're looking at whenever we're looking at Linda Lane. This right here is the parking lot. But I think the camera is on this side. I think the camera is on this side. If I can remember Linda Lane right. Okay, so then we have the Albertsons in Clarksville. I need to highlight some of these. Hold on a minute. Okay, so we've got 1330 Linda Lane and 1320 Linda Lane. I said those backwards, but whatever. Then we have the Albertsons in the PCA. We already know about the Albertsons, so I'm guessing they're going to have the footage that they showed of. They said that they saw him in Albertson shopping around. And then we have the Amazon financial and user records for Bryan Kohberger. The AT&T phone records. God, I don't want to that whole thing. Ugh. Oh my God, I hate this. I hate technology. I'm a bad millennial. I really hate technology. It never wants to work right for me. Okay, AT&T phone records for Bryan, for Maddie, and Xana. A bagel shop video. What do we know about a bagel shop? Do I need to look up a Moscow, Idaho bagel shop? Anybody know what the frick that is? Well, there's lots. Now, I do remember... Nope, that was Mad Greek. There's a lot of bagel shops. Like, it shows this Moscow Bagel and Deli, but I'm guessing that there's like other ones too. Psychic said bread, but yeah, same difference, I guess. I think that was that the one? Because I remember in that damn overseas UK doc that was made about Idaho that I said I didn't want to be in, and they took a piece from a TikTok video anyway and put it in there. I remember them talking about talking to an owner of a business, but I thought it was the Mad Greek that they were talking to. Was that not it? I remember there being a rumor about a guy that worked at a pizza place. Yeah, you're all right. It doesn't say Moscow, does it? It doesn't. It just says November 13th, but you're right. It doesn't say Moscow. And it also doesn't say who it's for. 310 South Main. Let me see. Is it gonna? It won't let me freaking do it. Okay, hold on. .310 South Main gives me something called the Carter Building by Friendship Square. Am I missing something? Let me get on the street. Huh? This looks like down freaking Houston. Where's the addresses to these damn places on the buildings? See, that says I'm at 318. Wells Fargo. I don't know what you're trying to show me here. Talk about this cafe right here. 4522 is whenever they receive the data. Yeah, but the coffee shop is a different one. Okay, well, I'll have to look back into that because that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Because I know this is Friendship Square, where there was a bunch of like this was like the big area where everyone hung out. Oh wait, this is it right here, huh? That's okay. Well, this says, oh, I'm blind as shit. I'm blind as shit. It's right here. There's a freaking bagel on the door. I am blind. Blind. Okay, but what's it freaking called? Moscow something bagel? Is that the one that we were just looking at though? Hold on. My blind ass, bro. Hold on a minute. Oh, shit. Yeah, it was the first one that I saw. The Moscow Bagel in Delhi. Yeah, that's the first. That's where I was at first. Okay, why are you being like the biggest crackhead ever right now? I don't want directions. I just want you to take me where I was. Okay. So they're saying that there's surveillance footage at this bagel place, but did you just see what was right next to the bagel place? Y'all didn't see it. Hold on a second. Go back to the map. It shares a wall with the police department. Look. The bagel place shares a little street in between it and the police department. And Potlatch Police Department, whatever that's supposed to be. But it's right here by the police department. That's wild. Okay. So now they have Bank of America records for Bethany and Xana. Banner Bank for Ethan. Cafe Arista video surveillance video for November 13th. So let's look up that one now. Cafe Arista. Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to type it in. Ooh! Why is my keyboard acting like a damn crackhead? Okay. So it's like right down the street. Well, I'll show you this part first. Hold on. So the bagel place is right here. And the Cafe Arista is right here. Is that what's blurred? Okay, hold on, guys. Okay. Yeah, so that's not what's blurred. Is this the cafe right here? Hold on a second. Okay, so if I'm facing this way, it tells me that's where the cafe is, according to the little dude down here, but that's not right either. What the frick is over here blurred out? Let me try this one more time. So I'm going to land this way. That's the cafe right here. So what the frick is blurred right here? Holy crap, it's not blurred no more. Did you see that? I know damn well we just saw something blurred. What? I can't stand these tricks they play. Look, there's like a little bitty wannabe blur over there. What the shiznit? How freaking confusing. Okay, I'm moving on. It's getting on my nerves. Okay, now Corner Club from the 12th through the 13th. Right here. Okay, so let's see. Corner Club. So the Cafe Arista is all the way down here. Corner Club is right here, like literally off the highway. I didn't realize it was like right here on the highway like that. That's their little thing. And there it be. Okay. So now they're going to actually pull the transaction records, I guess, to like see how many drinks the girls actually bought, I guess. Costco in Clarkston, November 13th. Did we know that he went by Costco? Because I know that they mention the coffee shop, but I really don't think he stopped there. The way they word it, it does not make it seem as if he stopped there. It's more like he just drove by there. I don't remember a Costco. Just Albertsons. The chef store cameras? I remember that. So then we have DeSales student records regarding Bryan, a Dick's Sporting Goods record of sale for Bryan, Discover financial records for Kaylee, DoorDash records for Xana and Ethan. Well, they're being admitted. So I guess they're trying to prove that Xana actually did order the DoorDash, maybe? What is an early warning records? What is that? Elin financial records for Kaylee Goncalves. See, this early warning record doesn't have a for who. E&S Services is a business in Pullman. Okay, well, where you be? E&S Services, Pullman, Washington. Let's see. Okay. So E&S Services is right here, and it's coming up by the Bishop and Johnson Road that they're saying that the car like came up back into Pullman. This makes sense that this is in here because I remember looking at this part of the map right here before. I remember that. I remember actually like looking right here before. Damn, it's been a long time. So my guess is just that they must have some sort of surveillance camera. Up, look right here. They got a system right here. Probably more than that. Yeah, look, both sides. There's one right here on the door, it looks like. Okay. Farmers Insurance surveillance video for November 13th of 22. Well, there's probably locations for Farmers Insurance in both towns because Farmers is Moscow, maybe? Yeah, there's multiple. There's multiple in both places. So it could be either or, I guess. I guess it just all depends. Thank you for the 199, Sheila. Well, thank you so much for caring about the truth of things. That's what we're trying to figure out. It's just so wild. Just so beyond insane. So beyond insane. Like, there's so much information just in the past couple of weeks. It's absolutely wild. Okay, the Floyd's Cannabis Company surveillance video is interesting to me because the defense team has came out and said that they've basically been able to prove that the car on the Floyd's Cannabis surveillance is not Bryan's car. But I guess the state's going to try to submit it anyway. They're going to have to try to, like, do more, I guess, to take away pieces that really aren't true proof, because they can't submit or admit any evidence that's just like on a hunch. That's not concrete proof. And they definitely can't use surveillance footage that they don't have any concrete proof of that it's the same vehicle in every single like shot. Because I was always kind of wondering, like, were they even following the same car? And obviously we know now that they definitely were not following the same car, but we've kind of questioned that, like, pretty much from the exact, like, beginning, pretty much from the very beginning. Okay, so then we have Forrest Dax, Crypto.com financial records. Forrest Dax? A Singapore-based company that runs crypto. And they were put on Poland's warning list because they're apparently bad. Former Crypto.com compliance officer charged with money laundering, money extortion, and money laundering. Oh, buddy. Kind of interesting, because a lot of people want to put crypto and the Goncalveses together a lot because of that hex hat he likes to wear. So that's interesting. It's not Kaylee's, it's Bryan's crypto wallet. Or unless you're talking about something else. This is Bryan's crypto wallet. It says it right here that it's Bryan. So that's, I mean, I don't really care that he has crypto. I used to freaking have crypto. But I just, what about it that they're admitting it into evidence? That's kind of crazy. Grub truck surveillance video. Yeah, I imagine that they've got like hours of it. Harbor Freight business and surveillance videos. Okay, so what town has a Harbor Freight? Because even whenever I lived in DFW, we didn't have one in like every little bitty town that connects the damn DFW. It was like spread out. So I typed in Harbor Freight in Moscow, Idaho, and there's not one in Moscow, but there's one in Pullman. And it's off of Bishop. Let's see from where, though. Okay. So WSU is over here. And this is the ENS services, where they already have some other footage that they're grabbing. And then Harbor Freight's all the way over here. And how convenient next to it is a King Drive. Of all the streets. Of all the streets. But how can it see unless the car, like, it's all the freaking way back here. So unless the car, like, went off the main road and went down here, how the hell is anything at Harbor Freight surveillance going to show the car? Like, the car would have had to have literally, like, driven way off the road into the parking lot. I mean, unless they're trying to say that they have footage of him buying something that day. That would be wild. That would be insane. Honestly insane. Idaho Central Credit Union bank records for Madison. Indian Mountain Lake surveillance and records. Okay. But I thought Indian Mountain Lake? I hate to break it to y'all, but Indian Mountain Lake is not in Moscow or in Idaho. It's in freaking Pennsylvania. Pretty positive that's what this is telling me. Hold on a minute. Let me make sure. Indian Mountain Lake. I'm just going to press enter without putting a state in. No, Indian Mountain Lake is in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. I don't think, is that what it's called? So that's what it's called. Okay, I didn't know that's what it was actually called. Okay. So then I'm guessing that they have surveillance footage from like what, the gate? Look how pretty this freaking place is. Jeebus. Yeah. Indian Mountain Lake is a private gated community. Yeah, that is the right one. So is that the footage that they put in the parents' yard on Christmas Day? Or is it just like what they were doing to follow him around? Because they were like watching him jog every morning. Like a bunch of weirdos. Joan Fabrics. Financial records for who? Who is buying stuff from Jones Fabrics? Love to know. Why is it evidence? Latell County Sheriff's Office Deputy Darren Duke body camera August 21st. And then Latell County Sheriff's Office citation issued August 21st. And that's supposed to just be like a seatbelt. It's supposed to just be like a seatbelt. Marshall's financial records for Bryan. National Weather Service records for November 12th and 13th. Are they going to be truthful about how there was like some sort of, what was it, the Palisade meteor or some crap like that? Like there was a meteor shower or something like that that was like on rotation that you could see that night. There's actually photos that people took themselves and videos that people took themselves that you can find online on these little like meteorologist sites and stuff like that of them in that area getting full-on photos and videos of whatever the frick was happening in the sky. Numerica bank records for Kaylee. 3 different files. 258, 828, and 849. Okay. PayPal and Venmo financial records, but doesn't state for who. But we have the search warrants. At least we have the search warrants they've allowed us to have. PNC bank records for Bryan Kohberger. Pintella data records. I'm pretty sure that has something to do with Pennsylvania, but let me check. I don't think I've heard that before. Pintella data. Okay, so it's basically like a internet service company, it looks like. They sell high-speed internet, and you can also like have an email. Pintella is a provider of connectivity, networking, security, and IT solutions for businesses and residences, and it mainly works out of Pennsylvania. So is this like records from his parents' internet? Is that what they're trying to do? Pennsylvania State Employees Credit Union for Bryan Kohberger. Wait. Pennsylvania State Employee. Don't you have to be a freaking actual employee for that? Or does he get to have an account there because I think his mom worked at the school? Where's Willie when you need him? Hey, AR. Was it his mom that worked at the school and maybe she's considered a state employee? I'm looking that up again. Pennsylvania State Employee Credit Union. PA State Employee Credit Union. Full service. I want to know if you're only for state employees, like for real, for real. I don't see anything. That's kind of what I thought. Because I know that USAA, if you have family in the military, like your parents, they can you can get an account there with proof. Slayton are using his big voice. I mean, yeah, I guess maybe so. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Because just because he moved, doesn't mean he has to switch banks. So if that was something that he already had established, I guess that makes sense too. Okay. Petco financial records for Kaylee. Why do I should have taken some Tylenol while I was up. Why do you need her Murphy records? Why do you need her Murphy records? That doesn't even make any sense. I missed something, didn't I? Yes, I did. Thank you, Mads. Gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Would that have counted? Him being a security guard? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Very possible. I don't know why they need Petco records. That's weird. Okay. Rite Aid financial records. We're going to see CVS because we know that they saw him walk in and out of a CVS. Ross financial records. Why do you need to know what they bought at Ross? That's a little crazy. Okay. Sunset Mart, which is at 1311 South Main Street in Moscow. Surveillance for 11/13 of 22. Let's see where 1311 South Main Street is. Okay, so it's off. It's in between Taylor and Louder. I think we've looked at this one before. Is this the one where they have the screenshot? I think it is. Oh, no, it doesn't. This is a little bit different. I remember them talking about an A&W place before, though. Or maybe my brain is mixing this gas station with Kylie Rodney's gas station. Maybe that's the problem here. Okay. So then we have Sunset Mart on Southeast Bishop Boulevard. What? So is it just going to be, is it just because it cuts 2 different streets? Where's Bishop? Oh, maybe not. No, that's like a whole nother, that's like a whole nother gas station. And Pullman. Okay. What did it say? What was the road? 1455 Southeast Bishop. Well, that was over there by that E&S place, or at least that's off of Bishop. Yeah, because here's E&S way down here, and this is a gas station right here. Can I get close to it? Damn, I can. Like, pull right up in there. Oh, you got busted on camera. Caught in 4K. Sunset Mart. Yeah. I remember looking at this before. Oh, I wasn't showing y'all. This is the Pullman Sunset Mart. So then we have Target financial records. TikTok user records for Xana. That should show the 412 thing. TJX financial records for Dylan. What the frick is that? Is that TJ Maxx? Like the store? TJX? Yeah, it says American department store. It's TJ Maxx, technically. I don't shop there. But yeah, it's TJ Maxx. It's TJ Maxx. So then we have T-Mobile phone records. She had T-Mobile? I thought Kaylee had, I didn't know Kaylee had T-Mobile. I guess, yes, she did. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I remember now. Umpqua bank records for Dylan. Is that a bank that's like local to Moscow? I don't remember. Umpqua bank. Private bank. There was a class action lawsuit against them. Okay, I mean, it looks like a regular ass bank. Really, looks like a regular ass bank. Thank you for the $9.99, Rose. Thank you very much. That's very sweet. Under Armour transaction records for Bryan Kohberger. Like, he went to the actual Under Armour like website. Why would you do that? Under Armour is like sold everywhere. So they're saying that he like went and shopped directly. I mean, some people do those things. The U.S. Chef store in Clarkston. Yeah, this is the one we heard where they say that he like drove to Albertsons. Ulta financial records. Why do we need to know about them buying makeup? Why do we need to know about them buying makeup? I don't understand. That's a little crazy to me. Oh, $9.99 again. Thank you, Rose. Thank you so much. It's very nice. I mean, he might be working on his fitness, but does he need to be contouring? Like, what are we doing Ulta for? I mean, maybe that's how Dylan didn't know if he was white. I don't even know. Verizon phone records for Ethan, for Bethany, Jack D. We finally see his initials up in her. Walmart surveillance and financial transaction records for Bryan Kohberger. Washington Department of Motor Vehicles surveillance video from November 18th. That would have been whenever he registered his car. And then the documents right here. Washington Trust Bank records for Bryan. Wells Fargo Bank records for Maddie. See, this is right. This right here is where I was like, what's this? What's this? Winco. Winco financial records for Bryan and Winco financial records and video surveillance for Bethany and Dylan, Kaylee, Maddie, and or Xana. So I don't know what this actually means because it's not asking for video surveillance for Bryan's. No, I know what Winco is, broski. I know what Winco is, but I don't know why they're wanting financial records for Bryan and then video surveillance stuff and financial records. And then it says and or Xana. It's almost as if they sent some bait out and they're hoping to maybe get something back in for this when it comes to the victims. Like they might have like transactions from Winco or at Winco on Bryan's records, but maybe I don't know what they're trying to prove here. I don't know what they're trying to prove here with this. Exactly. Like, I don't know. See, and that's what I was wondering. Like, is there a possibility that they like passed each other down a freaking aisle one day, and that's literally like, that's it. Like, wouldn't it be some shit if Winco is where the transfer DNA came from? Like, take the freaking story that I've always told about going down the cereal aisle at Walmart. Take out Walmart and put in Winco. Like, what if that's what it is? Because that's a possibility. Because this doesn't say that they, like, this is everybody's information but Ethan's. And then it's and or. It's not specific. No, Winco's a grocery store. Winco is a really cheap grocery store. And if you are a fan of Aldi and you also really like bigger stores that kind of like remind you of Sam's Club, Winco is it because it's got really big things. It's got different things that you normally wouldn't see at other stores, but it's freaking cheap. Okay. Like Aldi is high priced bougie compared to Winco. That's just the truth. And I think there is one in Moscow. off of the main highway. It is. It's on I'm gonna pull it up. It's on Pullman Road in Moscow. I don't know why I did it on this way. Whenever I should have just put it up on the map. My dumbass wrote Moscow, Texas, and no. Moscow, Idaho. Yeah, it's over here, really close to where he got pulled over. Because he got pulled over right here on this corner. I don't know what road. I don't know if it was right her, if it was right her. I don't know. But it was this corner. Okay. Because I mentioned something like, what if he was just leaving Buffalo Wild Wings? Like, why do they got to bother this guy if it's not proof of anything? And there's the Buffalo right there. And there's the Winco right here. Right here. And again, we got to remember that that traffic stop is being added to evidence for identification purposes only. For his actual ID, for the fact that he's in a white four-door sedan, the address that they had for his identification, and his phone number that they had. And then Washington State surveillance from 11/13 and the WSU parking records. I think that's probably it. Everything else is just like copies of public records, like birth certificates and shit like that. The state intends to obtain certifications of the above listed items prior to the April 21st, 2025 exhibit deadline. This filing hereby provides notice of the state's intent to introduce and rely on certain evidence as required. But that's wild to me because we've already heard them say that the cannabis shop is not his car. And what does his crypto wallet have to do with anything? I've never seen a Winco open 24 hours. I've been to quite a few. And even in the Fort Worth-ish area that I lived in the DFW side, actually in Fort Worth city limits weren't even open 24 hours. So that's crazy if it's open 24 hours. Because there aren't any good photos of him in his car in the neighborhood because he wasn't in that neighborhood. I mean, he might have shopped at Floyd's once upon a moon, but whatever. They have 34-hour Wincos. They are 24-hour in Idaho? That's wild. Ours closed at like 11. Yeah, I guess that would make some sense. I can't stand the fact that Walmart's not open 24/7 anymore. I don't give a damn. I'll be a people of Walmart for the rest of my freaking life, okay? I can't stand that it closes early now. I haven't seen a single one open 24 hours in forever. Yeah, everything screwed up. The vid screwed up everything. What? I'm jealous. That's wild. I wonder why the stores see there's no reason for stores to be open at different times just because they're in different locations. Like, you should be across the board the same thing. That's wild. I miss 24-hour Walmart. I mean, like, at least back in the day, whenever I was a kid, like, I'm 1,000 years old. Oh, I'll be 37 next month. But back in the day, whenever I was a kid, like, you didn't really have to worry about where we were because if we weren't in our friends' houses, we were probably walking around Walmart in our freaking pajamas in the middle of the night. Our kids don't have that anymore. So now there's more chances of them going out and doing some crazy shit because they can't be pajama people at Walmart. It's so sad. But yeah, The Winco thing's interesting, but it also looks like they're sort of reaching for something because they don't have any, they're not saying that they have him on video doing anything. And just because he might have bought something at Winco one day doesn't mean anything either. No, I haven't seen any drones. I will always be a Walmart pajama people. Better than being a street people. Is there? I don't really see it anymore. Yeah, that's who we are. That's where I was. That's always where I was. Even after I was like the cool friend that had the freaking car, we were still always at freaking Walmart, bro. Like my friends would call me, be like, "Hey, I got $5 for gas. Can we go to Walmart?" Like, that's just what we did. Just what we did. I think that's gonna be it for the docs tonight, guys. It's after midnight. I gotta work in the morning. Like I can concentrate. Today, I will admit, I barely got anything done at work today. My brain was kind of just all over the place because I was going through some other things and arguing with stupid people on Twitter about how they don't know how to read and their comprehension skills are freaking horrible. It's just a great reminder that it's a good thing I'm homeschooling my kids because the comprehension out there in the real world is not very high. It's really, really not. Now, there's a crap ton of documents, as you can see. There's still so freaking many more. And we're still going to go through them. I'm going to go live again tomorrow night. I'm going to go live again tomorrow night and continue to go through them until we are done going through them. Because that's the only way that we figure things out. But yeah, today's been wild. Today has been wild. Absolutely insane. Do y'all want to see the kitty cat? Let me go get the kitty cat. Here hers is. She's purring. Can you hear her? Can you hear it? She was sweeping in her beds. Oof. Oof. Cat breath. Look at her little paws. She's got funny paws. Like, I feel like her paws are, like, wider than they should be. I don't know. I feel like she's going to be kind of big. She's sweepies. She's so sweepies. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we found her in a Dollar Tree parking lot. She got hit by a car, and this whole back end of her was completely broken. And she had, like, her whole leg was broken on this side. She just lets me do whatever, look. And then this side on this side, she had a chunk like this long of like meat muscle. She was down to the bone, and it stunk so bad. It was so infected. It was so bad. She had pieces like of her scalp up here was missing. It was bad. Oh, what'd you see? Oh, here she goes. But now she's fat. Look at her. She's getting so fat. And look, you can't even tell. Like, she's got nothing. She's got nothing wrong with her no more. Here we go. She wants to get back in her bed. Ugh. All right, go get back in your bed. She loves her little coffin top. And you know what? I didn't have to take her to a vet. I didn't have to go and take her to a vet. I told the kids instantly, as soon as we got her home and I got a good look at her, I said, we're not taking her to a vet because they're going to do what they always do, and they're going to tell me that we got to put her to sleep, and I'm not freaking doing it. Not doing it, because that's what would have happened. They would have told me she's too far gone. She's going to always be in pain. She's too broken, because she was screwed up. She couldn't walk. Like, she couldn't go to the bathroom. She would lay there and just go on herself because she was so damaged that she couldn't even tell whenever she had to go potty. Okay. So I bought all kinds of like natural antibiotics on Amazon for pets. and I bought a bunch of like creams and wraps, and I had a steroid cream from like years ago, probably like whenever Don had a freaking diaper rash whenever he was like a little bitty baby. Like this freaking thing is old, but it worked because I put the steroid and like cream on her cut and was just giving her antibiotics. And within like a week, she was walking around, and now you can't even tell nothing was wrong with her. Now she's fine. Now she's fine. She's a Dollar Tree kitty. Okay. Y'all try to relax y'all's brains. Try to relax y'all's brains. Try to scoop your melted brain back up into your ears with a spoon, because today was wild. Today was absolutely insane. And I'm glad that we came back and we kind of relaxed and we went through it slower and got the stuff into the timeline. I do have lots of questions now. Like, I just have more questions. Having no indication of a bloody scene with 6 people in the background, it just don't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. My head hurts too. Like I have like an actual headache. I'm about to go take some naproxen. Okay, I've been seeing y'all like arguing, and I know for a fact Nostradamus, or however you say it, didn't say that Bryan was stalking. He said that he felt as if the way that they were introducing the evidence is that they were trying to prove that he was stalking, but that we know that he wasn't stalking. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to get in the middle of y'all's argument because I normally don't have to play referee, but he really never said that. I've been watching the text. I'm just assuming because it says Thomas. Her name is Zelda, like Princess Zelda, because I've been obsessed with the Legend of Zelda video game pretty much my entire life. And I have Legend of Zelda artwork and a dress. So we named her Zelda. I mean, I have Ariel. She's a princess. Why not name my cat after another princess? Yes, Dollar Tree kitty cat and Walmart pajama people. We have a club now. Dollar Tree kitty cats and Walmart pajamas. Shit's hilarious. See, I look crazy in a hood because my hair's all bumpy. Okay, I'm going to get off here actually now so I can go take some naproxen because my head hurts. And maybe she'll let me cuddle with her. She loves this freaking bed. I guess the furry stuff is just so warm and comfortable. She never wants to get out of it. She's always at the top. She's always at the top. I know you've got to love me because we argue all the time and you're always in here. We argue a lot. Yeah, I got a headache. I got to go take some naproxen. A black cat named Hades. That's cool. That's pretty freaking cool. Yeah, we should probably make like an actual club about that. So hilarious. She's wild. And it's just funny because she goes to clean herself and then I'll get her attention and she'll look at me and her tongue just like sticks out. I just think it's hilarious. All right, you guys have a good night. Put your brains back. Let them rest. Your brain is very injured. It needs some sleep and some relaxation. Let me roll my things out. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, y'all go get some sleep. See y'all.